Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirosho here, and now, before we do begin, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had quite a lot happening. Now, Deku, he has done quite a lot of things in his life. In the last 2 years, he's had a lot happen. All Might died, and he gained his power. He raised hell to the Todoroki territory and killed Endeavor. He killed Dobby, and a lot of people became afraid of him. However, today, after 6 months of recovery, he's made an appearance in Ryoko's territory. Deku killed a man known as the One-Eyed Lion, brought his skin as proof, and wore it as a cape when he arrived at the Ryoko headquarters. And she was alarmed that he made a personalized appearance in the flesh. Deku wanted to talk to Kami. Miss Intelli kept trying to bombard him with questions, and Mandalay even came to try and get some answers out of Deku. When she found out that Deku was here to see Kami, her attitude immediately changed. Kami? She came to meet Deku with her friends, and Kami was relieved over Deku wasn't angry. He wasn't this bloodthirsty monster that Japan knew him as. When he saw her, his eyes softened, and she ran to meet his embrace, gave him a kiss, and introduced Izuku to his daughter, Yuki. And that Deku certainly did not know how even to start processing. Now, with that being said, Deku was holding Yuki, and Kimi, she talked about heading back to Yagi territory with him and their child. Deku, he wasn't so sure. Yes, that is an option he does want to have. It is the only option he really does have in his mind, but there are some complications. And Kimi mentioned that Yuki is a complication. Now, with that being said, Deku does currently sit there, still holding on to Yuki, as there are 5 women sitting across from him: Kami, Momo, Ibara, Mina, and Ochako. He does recognize Ibara back from UA. And that, it's kind of funny. Momo was the same way. If he does remember, she has some sort of resource ability. But that isn't exactly his main thing. That isn't exactly his main, focus of attention. He does still stare down at his daughter. Right now, bring up a finger that she does gonna slowly reach out and grab. And Deku just stares down at her. His eyes are full of love. His eyes are soft. He does wear a gentle smile. If you were to just walked into the room, ignore everything else, you wouldn't know that this man is feared by millions. You just think it's a gentle scene. And right now, Kami does shatter Deku's small little illusion. You said there was a lot you wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah, do you need her back? You can still hold her. But I'm assuming there's someone else. Huh? Yeah, about that. Let me guess. Is it Toru? She always seemed like a nice girl. Or Froppy. Or both. I could always kind of see Toga. She was always a little off. I bet you built a harem. Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, look at him. He's hot. And, I mean, he's muscly and scarred. Plus, he is a boss now. Thanks for the ringing endorsement. But, no. I'm only really involved with one person at the moment, and to be honest, she kinda mentioned keeping things casual between us. Casual? Yeah. She's not looking for a relationship, but, if it suits her, we can, you know. Toga? No, not Toga. Froppy's like that? No, no, she's not. Me and Froppy know each other, but I don't think we know each other that way. Toru, well, me and her are getting closer, but I'm not like that with her. Not yet, anyways. It's weird. A lot of women in my life seem to either want to fight me or fuck you. Yeah, that. So who are you involved with? Rumi. You your combat teacher? I'm confused. Who is that? Mirako. The girls looking at each other, looking at Deku, and looking back at Kami. And Kami, she is somewhat spun around as they start to mumble to each other. And Deku does stare on, waiting for a second. Before Kami does a spin back around. Rhino her bonking me on the head, talking about it. She mentioned that in confidence. Besides, she was already prepared for something like that to happen. Prepared for what? With what you did in Endeavor's territory, taking out Kyoto, killing a lot of his men, a lot of people expect you to have a harem. A harem. You know, it's either you do that or something else. Why? What do you mean, why? You're technically a warlord. I'm a warlord? Yes. Don't tell me you haven't thought about it. I mean, I'd be lying if I said no, to be honest. I mean, Toru wants to get involved with me. Toga wants to get involved with me. I'm pretty sure Midnight wants to get involved with me. Then there's your fucking Mandalay chick. That's a whole other thing. So, you are building a harem. He's new to it, it looks like. Besides, he's sensitive. Now you're fucking with me. What do you mean he's sensitive? We weren't a thing, but he thought he cheated on me and wanted to apologize. You weren't a thing, but we were. We never talked about it, but started a relationship. Oh, interesting. You need to give us more details. I'm not gonna do that. Are you kidding? He's involved Mirako. You mentioned that your ex was a. I'm not here. I'm not gonna yell at you in front of my daughter. Her slapping her on the head with a chop. And Mina does go to grab her head, a little annoyed, but turning back and going to somewhat wink at Deku. And he does get a sigh. Jesus Christ. Young man, it's inevitable. Yeah, sounds like it. Unfortunately, people will think that of you. All Might. Yes? Stop with the grin. I can fucking hear it in your voice. I'm grinning? Whatever are you talking about? All Might. Did you ever. Yes. So it's common? More than you'd expect. I'd honestly expect Endeavor to have some illegitimate bastards running around. Ray might have been his wife, but primary is a different concern. I see. So getting probably was a Todoroki, or might have been an illegitimate bastard. I don't know. Though everyone thinks you're my bastard. So there's that. And that's why that claim has more validity. Exactly. Focus. Kimi taking the baby from Deku. And Deku, he does go to relinquish her. Not happy to do so, but going to let her go. And right now Kimi does go to walk back over and set Yuki down in a crib. And set her back down in the stroller. Right now adjusting it as she does settle in. And Deku, he does wonder about a lot of that stuff. He'll have to order it. Order a crib, a playpen, house protection stuff. I mean, God. Maybe he really is turning into a warlord. Though if he is gonna be dealing with stuff like that, a bigger place isn't out of the question. A bigger property? Maybe he should actually build a proper compound. Yeah. Maybe. Find out about the. Oh God. Talk to Fuyumi and Natsuo about a compound. Fuyumi mentioned a family compound. He might need to talk to Nezu about building one of those on his own land. Though, with his money, he should be able to buy a place further away from Tokyo. Maybe see about Gran Torino's place. Huh. Maybe if he does go into hiding, buy land that does have a natural hot spring. Actually, with enough money, he can get one of those installed in the house. Interesting. Maybe finally buy a second home. Though, the harem idea. I mean, a lovely woman wouldn't be. Focus. Why are you all staring at me like that? You're zoning out. Oh, well, I'm not sure about this whole thing you're talking about. It's weird. Yeah, it really is. But moving past that, fine. I'll have to talk to your boss. Deku's demeanor entirely shifting. Him leaning back in the chair. It'll be a bit of a bitch to figure out, but I'm certain Ryoko and I can come to some sort of accord. We can talk, see what's happening, and if she does refuse to allow you to leave and force my hand, well, that can become a different problem. Right now, there are a number of trophies I do have in my house. And if my plan does go well, if everything does go well, we should be able to walk out of here. Though, if she does force my hand, I guess I'll just have to kill her, take over her territory, and discover exactly if she can make a good enough rug to entertain a guest on. This is your boyfriend? Yeah. I kinda get it. I can still hear you. We know. God. Listen. If Ryoko does want to try and force my hand, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of people who don't want to fight me. Your boss among them. That Intelli girl, she seemed to be pretty intelligent. And if she's currently talking to your boss, then Ryoko knows she has no chance of winning. I might be brutal, but I'm not stupid. I know for a fact that a lot of different things and a lot of different scenarios can play out. I don't know what a lot of our top 10 can do, but at the same time, I didn't need to know a lot about that with Endeavor and his people. Endeavor's death squad went down fast and bloody. If she just forced my hand, well, I guess we'll go home with some trophies. Or we can set up shop here. That would be the best bet. Though, I wonder what she'll try and force me to do. But that does then raise a question. I know you won't stand against me. But what of your friends? Easy there, big guy. We're not a threat. Momo, bring up her hands. Listen, I think this is also some sort of misunderstanding. We're all friends. For a reason. I mean, maybe we can get you something to calm you down? What's your favorite food? Deku blinking at her and realizing something very specific. Her eyes fixated on him. She leaned forward, and the fear in her gaze, it turned into desperation. This girl's a fucking yaki. It is a cheeseburger with some onions and some pickles and all the good stuff in between. Good. Maybe we can get him that. Some fries? Curly fries? Honestly, that does sound good. I'm a bit hungry. Okay, good. Good. I'll go ahead and place an order with the staff, and I'm sure they'll make an exception. Her jumping up. And whenever everyone does look back at Deku, she does a turn, looking at Deku for a second, as Deku, he does a blink up at her. And she does go to let out her breath and walk away. Definitely a Yagi. That wasn't just his imagination. Huh. Ironic. A spy has a best friend, and she's a fucking spy. Though, that does then raise a question about what he has to say to Night Eye. That is going to need to be a conversation he has later. Kimi had a daughter for 3 months. Almost 4? Maybe it was closer to 4? No, you're spiraling. Cut that shit out. You're over that. You're better than that now. You need to get your shit together and keep yourself in line. You're stronger than that, Izuku. Are you okay? Uh, when did she get here? Don't mind me. I'm observing. You're one of the top 10. Yes, I am. I voted to decipher the situation, and I'm smart enough not to get in your way. Though, I do have several questions. Does it have anything to do with the current stuff we're talking about? Some? How many? Well, if it's not 2 or 3, then I won't answer them. If it's questions about my abilities, what I can do, if I can shoot lasers from my nipples, or if I can fucking clap my ass and control the wind, then I'm not going to answer your questions. Now, I'm going to stop before I start yelling. Because if I start yelling, I might scare my daughter. And if I scare her today, I'm going to do something you really don't want me to do. Now, are your questions related to the subject? Some? 2. Good. Ask your questions. How exactly do you expect this to go? I've calculated the numbers. Things will go in your favor. Almost all the time. And with 100% certainty with the information you've given me, especially the revelation that my data was wrong earlier, then, if you were to go all out, you could walk out of here. I know. But that's the thing. I'm going to ask once, politely. I made that mistake where I asked Endeavor too many times. It ended with a promise to feed him his heart, which I did. I kept trying to be rational with him, gave him too many chances, too many calls. And that I'm going to only say once. I'm walking out of here with my family. And that is that. If she does want to stand in my way, that is her issue. I will gladly see exactly how long you can fornicate on a rug made of her skin. Is that correct? No. I'll gladly see how long she'll last against me. Especially since I learned my mistake with Endeavor. Yes, well. The boss has authorized me to inform you that the debt is clear. You killed the one-eyed lion. It's cleared. Yes. If you do wish to, then you could walk right out of here with Miss Kimi right now. But she does wish to have a conversation with you. A private one, may I add? The current audience is unwelcome, unprecedented, and, well, I'm sure you understand. This is a matter of bosses, higher level priority, and they don't have the clearance to talk about this. Along with that, I myself do wish to make a bit of a bargain with you. One that, if things do go well, I believe will personally benefit both of us. I see. Yes, Mr. Midoriya. I think things can work out quite well. All right, I'm willing to hear her out, especially because I don't wish for combat right now. Yes, that is the only reason our chances are increased of survival. You think I'm a monster, don't you? You terrify me. You've mentioned that every record we have on you is inaccurate by a wide margin. If your jump is small, just for pure calculation's sake, you're swinging at 100%, correct? You went from that power you were throwing around in every other city to your max output? No. Really? What was the actual number? And is that one quirk or multiple? That's a hard question to actually answer. It's one quirk. But if I had to tell you how much I'm actually swinging at, it was 70%. Her staring at Deku. And that revelation, yeah, it does fill the room. Him going to stand as Intelli she froze. Right now, everyone looking at Deku again. And he does it a walk over. Right now, him going to kneel down and go to say goodbye to Yuki. Since he needs to go have a chat with Rieko. Turning, walking over, and going to pick Intelli up by the back of her shirt and throwing her over his shoulder. Turning and talking about it. He'll be back soon. Though if his chat does go well, then hopefully things will be good. They can give her time to get her stuff in order. And if Night Eye wants to give him shit for bringing her back, then he'll give him some shit. If he's going to take the role of a boss, then he'll take up the role. And they'll figure that out. They'll cross that bridge when they get there. Her smiling and jumping up to give Deku a kiss. And she does go to step back, talking about it. They'll figure it out then. We will. I'll make sure of it. If I do need to, I'll do whatever it takes. Don't. Please? Fine. I'll do what I can. Does that make it better? It does. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Him turning, walking off, still carrying Intelli over his shoulder. And she does it a turn. Right now, her going to express. They still need to figure a few different things out. I mean, well, Deku going to spin her around as he's to put her under his right arm. Turning to look at her, expressing. She can walk, right? Technically yes, but the bargain in questions. Data? God, you're like a computer. Yes. I've been told that my habits are excessive and compulsive, which are not incorrect, but I have been studying the mystery of you for months. But what do you mean, though, when you do categorize your ability as one quirk? Or whatever your enhancement ability is? You've been seen using 3 different abilities that do enhance your physical output and power. But would you classify those all as one quirk or separate abilities? the red, the blue, and, if I'm correct, the enhanced ability? What would you consider it to be? Well, I'd consider it to be something different. I'm not going to just tell you all my secrets. Them stepping into the elevator. People still staring as Deku does go to set her down. And she does dust herself off. Right now, clicking a button and going to pull something from a thermos. Right now, her going to unscrew the top and down it. As she does Express. Going to screw the top back on. They have about 40 seconds. Right now, she does wish to talk to him about a potential bargain, which would be good. She was hoping to accompany him back to Yagi territory. Perhaps if this deal does go well and the ceasefire does continue, their people can eventually culminate into one family. Or, well, perhaps there is the fact that Ryoko may have taken her words a bit more seriously, and she actually is debating whether or not to yield control of the family to him. Yield control. Yes, but that is not my current line of thinking. That is not what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to this very fast, but you need to understand. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to understand and break down what you are. Your powers, your abilities, and how you operate. You're the biggest mystery I've ever run into, and it needs to be solved. I want to know. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to learn more about your own abilities, figure that out, and crack this nut. Are you talking about yourself? You're a bit of a nutcase. I would not say that. We can come to a bit of a bargain. An arrangement? Her stepping forwards and getting right in Deku's face. Right now, her nose touching his. And she does go to express. They can come to some sort of bargain. She's certain there's something he does want. Many men want many things. He does want peace, quiet, and privacy, if she's gotten him correct. And while he is in the open-minded category to a harem, she's uncertain of his exact feelings on that. Were you listening in on our conversation? No. Did that topic come up? And if so, was it in the yes category? I'm not answering your questions. Instead, I will tell you I don't control the air. You don't. But then, you don't have a wind manipulation ability. No. Nor do I have the ability to manipulate the weather. Directly. Wait. But then, you've performed the same feat as All Might. Your father. But that is... Her going to stop talking. And Deku, he does go to take a step to the side away from the psychotic lady. She's throwing herself at him to fucking solve a mystery. I mean, crazy. Definitely crazy. And I thought midnight was bad. Tell me about it. Deku and All Might agreeing on something. For the first time in a long time. And it wasn't about ripping and tearing through Endeavor's territory. Ah, what nostalgia. Now, Deku does arrive back on the top floor. Right now, Sayako, she does walk out of the elevator with him and head into the meeting room. Deku finding a large table of Ryoko sitting there. Until he does get to sit down. However, Deku he does go to look at his chair and stand, crossing his arms, and looking around at everybody here. Right now, Sayako does sit next to a girl with spirals on her head and a battle suit. She does have blue hair. Next to her is Rappa. Then there's Pixie Bob. There's Mandalay. Then there's a guy in a wizard hat. I mean, hell, he's not sure who that guy is, but he's sitting next to a redhead, and next to her is Captain Celebrity, someone Deku, if he's not wrong, has met before. Then there's Kamari Woods and Mount Lady. He knows who she is, though she's different in person. She seems a lot more... Whatever. That's not the concern. Him watching Chimera and Rieko, who are directly across the table from Deku. Then Deku does go to turn to his chair, going to sit down and bring his hands up onto the table, putting his elbows on it and going to express, leaning forward. So, what exactly are they going to talk about? Sayako has already given you my offer, correct? To leave with my family? To leave with my daughter? Yes. She has. And that definitely does save me a lot of trouble. I do hope you know that. For that, I do extend my thanks. You don't need to do that. I will anyways. You know, my negotiations with Endeavor were a lot harder. I kept making the excuse that every time I murdered one of his top 10, I gave him a phone call. Kept trying to see what the price of his son's life was to him. In fact, do you know Tiger? And, what was his name? They go by Edgeshot, if I remember correctly. I took both of them out and held them hostage. Endeavor finally relinquished some form of the control he thought he had, and told me where his son might be. Though, he didn't answer in the time I wanted him to. Right now, Tiger is a skinned rug in my house. Edgeshot survived, but I liked him. He was a lot more cooperative and a lot more personable. No, then I went to Kyoto, and he sent a death squad after me. He made a mistake then. It was simple. I wanted him to come after me, but he decided not to negotiate. Only after that did he want to negotiate, though. Only after I killed his top men did he want to negotiate. Then I decided to promise him something. Do you know what I promised him, Rieko? Everyone at the table suddenly tensing up, and his eyes are fixated directly on hers. And she does express she does not know. I promised him to feed him his own heart. I did. Then I went after Dobby. Right now, I'm fairly certain his jacket is in my house. If not, something of his is in my room. Now, I'm glad we can go ahead and avoid and skip all of that. You're a lot more personable, You're a lot more reasonable. And for that, I do thank you. And I thank you for not acting rash. The day's not over yet. Mr. Midoriya, with that, I do believe that. Hold on one second. You want to strike some sort of bargain? Some sort of deal? Give me 1 second to really think about it. And that's all I do ask. I haven't even told you what I'm thinking about just yet. And I haven't told you my terms. But I'd like to go over it. Right now, Miss Intelli has offered me a deal. And I'm curious to hear about what she does have to say about what I do tend to offer you. You want something, right? Out of me? That's why I'm here? Yes. Will you let me talk? Go right ahead. My family, we're quite aware in our region of Japan what we do control. We are not squandered like Genist and the others. Right now, they share one side of Japan, and we share the other. Though, our island, we would like it to remain as it is. And with a bit of a heavy heart, her standing, walking around, and falling to a knee in front of Deku, expressing, lowering herself down into a bow, all limbs on the floor, hands, knees, and lowering her head. She would like to express an alliance and possible absorption into the Yagi family. Boss, you can't be serious. I am. The room somewhat erupting. Some of her people don't like that. And Deku, he does get to just stare at her. All Might does laugh in his ear. Ryuko said the day she bows to a man, he would be long dead. He never expected that to be true. But here is that day. He's long dead, and she has bowed to a man. But a part of him has lived to fucking see it. And Deku does go to bring a hand down and grab her by her chin, raising her face up and informing her to get back on her feet. And she does get to do so, as Deku does tell her to sit back down and give him a damn second. This has become a lot more complicated. I see. Her walking back over as her people are beginning to talk about it. They cannot believe what she's suggesting. They can't believe what she's trying to do. And Ryuko does remain silent. Her keeping an eye on those who might support this absorption. And an ear out for those who are against it. Izuku Midoriya is a very, very big threat. But they have their own autonomy. They have a good portion of land they can use for farming. It might be hard to be inhabitable, but they technically do control a large landmass. And that is that. Everyone else is just south of them. Or just west. They are on the top right. And that does mean something quite good for them. With a deal with the Yagis, they can do a lot. And Deku, he does go to spin around in his chair and face away from everyone, asking All Might and the other bosses about this. And he does get a various number of responses. This is quite a troublesome matter. Then again, it is also quite beneficial. Okay, you two, Banjo, and I don't really have much to say on the matter. It is your decision. And just being modest. Listen, kid, this might be your best bet for something. It definitely does mean quite a bit, and hey, if you are looking to really expand into a harem, shut it, Banjo. Come on, kid. I mean, hell, got some pretty hot tail here, too. The blue-haired girl, I saw you eyeing her up in the suit. Bonzo, shut it. Unfortunately, he's not wrong. Toshi, I don't want to hear it from you, alright? Besides, I don't want to hear you talk about that. Right now, the boy is trying to take this matter seriously, and no one wants to hear from you, Mr. Limp Noodle. Nona. What? Don't like being called out? Trust me, young man, I heard a lot about things from you during my time as the boss. You don't have a lot of room to chat. You want to make fun of the boy? Go right ahead. But at least acknowledge you were a bit of a whore in your own past. Then again, from my own reports, you were poor performing. Deku's snorting. And he does get a watch as Sayako does get a lean towards him. Him turning his head to look towards her. And she does slowly move back into place, turning back and expressing, covering his mouth with a hand. That does mean quite a bit. Well, he would love to certainly hear a lot more about that. I'd rather not. Not up to you, Toshi. Though, come on. You should be fine. Not too many bashes rolling around, huh? He's yours. Though, what? Doing too poor? Poor performing? Or were you just shooting blanks? Nana? Yes, Izuku? On topic, please. The girl with the telepathic ability. She was Mandalay, correct? Yes. Have a dirty thought about her friend. See if she reacts. I'm not certain if she does hear us. Deku, he does turn back around, turning halfway and staring directly at Pixie Bob, getting a good look at her face and having a dirty thought, turning his eyes on Mandalay. And Mandalay, she does a turn looking over at him, looking him dead in the face and not having any reaction. Deku, he does go to expand on that thought, and nothing happens. Right. Either she's got a poker face, or she can't read his mind. Then again, she would have read his mind earlier. See if he was a threat. The top 10 are here. And he's assuming they're here because they thought he would have gotten violent. But he hasn't. Then again, interesting. Mandalay, Yes? I thought I heard that you can read minds. That's a miscommunication. I can send thoughts to someone like this, but that's all. Expanding my abilities is going to be quite expensive. And the particular abilities I'm looking to enhance, they're more targeted. Her saying that one telepathically, and he does it express. She has actually shown much interest in him. Deku throwing a leg over the other, and facing sideways in his chair to all of them, not moving his chair facing the desk properly. She's mentioned before about wanting to start something with him. What exactly does that entail? How far would she go? And if he did ask, would she come along with him when he does go to leave? Deku raising a hand to Sayako and stopping her with a finger, expressing, fact of the matter is, exactly what is the answer to that question? I'd be curious. If the boss does go down with the deal, I would be willing to leave. Without Koda? That's where I draw the line. That boy, he's my family. He has no one else. Really. And even if I mentioned wanting to do something fancy, then you can burn. I have an interest in you, but my family will come first. Good answer. Deku sang in his own head. And he does a turn, expressing, Dexy Bob could take care of him. She's a poor role model. Hey! Deku hiding a smile. Good. Good. If they're arguing, then that does mean something good. Though this could be a setup. Perfect. Sayako, can you stop staring at me like that? Oh, I'm sorry, but your eye movement. What about it? It's abnormal. I'm fine. There's nothing abnormal about it. You're calculating variables. Or am I wrong? You're going over information in your own mind, but it also seems like you're talking with someone. Talking with someone? You think he's talking to somebody? I'm not certain of it. But the information I know about him doesn't suggest some sort of hive mind. And while PTSD and other stress symptoms are apparent, I don't know any sort of ability that would have given him a dual personality. She is smart. I wonder what she could figure out. Sayako? Yes? One of my abilities. It is not manipulation of any kind. Any form of it. Really? And you're saying that you cannot manipulate the air? Or, well, I mean, think about enhancement abilities a little bit more. I'm sure you can discover exactly how much like my father I am. I see. But, Her falling silent. And Deku does turn. It really is the best way to keep her quiet. If not busy, huh? You feed her information. Not a bad option. Though she will figure out that puzzle that is you. I'm sure she would. But I won't really try to give her a chance. I could tell her the whole thing, swear to secrecy, and figure that out later. Though, your offer. Ryuko. Right now, Deku, turning the Chimera. You seriously cannot think this is a good option. I do. I've discussed it with Miss Intelli. She has been reasonably accurate in her service to our family. And as our tactical liaison, I believe her mind is accurate on this. I doubt it. I don't think it is the best option to succeed. No, not succeed. To hand off control of our territory, your territory, to him. What happens if he changes everything you've built? Cone. I'm just saying. You wish to bow your head to this man. But what happened to you? You've mentioned before you wouldn't do something like this in your life. And he changes that? Cone? No! Our autonomy from the Yagi family is what has kept us alive. It is what has kept people safe. The lion was someone we had trouble with, along with the other members of the other families. Our own autonomy has kept us alive. We cleared our debt to their family after we saved him. As far as I'm concerned, he cannot be allowed to control us. Right now, he is the devil. And you wish to submit yourself to him? If it's any consolation, I do not wish to hear you speak. I would choose your next words very, very carefully. Otherwise, I'll castrate you by ripping them out through your asshole. See? He gives empty threats. Who said that was empty? Cone, was it? How about this? Me and you can spar. I won't use my full power. In fact, I will limit myself to 3 quirks. Your enhancements. No, actually. My enhancements, as you put it, are off the table. I won't use my enhancements for our battle. I'll just use some of my other abilities. I see. And I get to use my full power. That does depend. Can this room handle it? No, it can't. Then don't use that. If you're so concerned about her making deals, then figure it out. Right now, I'll talk my piece, and if you do want to fight afterwards, I'll be more than willing to drag you back to midnight. And, well, she's talked about you. I once brought in the leader of the White Fangs, and she was quite enthusiastic about seeing what she can do with fur. She didn't give me the man's pelt, but his teeth. I'm wondering what she'll do to you. You two have some sort of beef, don't you? Yes. Ooh, now that's personal. I wonder what she'll give me for you. I'm sure it'll be quite the prize. You think you can kill me without your other abilities that you oh so do rely on. Cone. I could. Really, I could. Though, the question here is, do you want to die Or would you like to hear about how I don't really care about what you guys do? Right now, there are some sort of problems you might not have realized. Deku bring a hand up, snapping his fingers in front of Intelli, asking them exactly how reliable her abilities are. She is a tactical liaison. She navigated us around deals, and I have seen them be beneficial. Along with that, kept us out of conflict with the Yagi family, and she did deduce where you were when you were held captive. She did, didn't she? Yes, she did. The masquerade had you. The auction had many eligible people, but with someone of your combat potential and power, being a rising star, and only going higher at a strange rate, it meant a bit. Your operation in the Badlands and how things went from there. You being taken to another city. She deduced 2 different locations. Teams were sent out to both. I see. So not absolute, but not bad. Correct. I'd say she'd make a very good tactical advisor for your family. Interesting. And you? What about me? It seems like there's something that you aren't considering just yet. Intelli. Hmm? Sorry, is something happening? You really are distracted. Do you mind explaining to Miss Ryoko the problems of her joining the Yagi family? Long term, and with the other bosses? Long term and with the other bosses. That is relatively easy. Though, would you like the short list, please? And I will answer a question you do provide. Of course, of course. The short of it is Mr. Midoriya is correct. The fact of the matter is, the long-term catastrophic effects are that with us being in control of one half of Japan, the Yagi and Riko family combining, they may see it be as some sort of form of coercion. Some way that the Yagi family may have influenced you, and with the recent takeover of Todoroki territory, you either fell to threats, coercion, or some sort of inner folly that you didn't realize. Or you may have taken a deal to survive, with the threat of Mr. Midoriya coming down upon you, and not wanting your territory destroyed. I see. Yes, and while there are ramifications like potentially other families that do serve under us changing tactic or side, or pulling away from us entirely and attempting to have a coup d'etat, there are the other repercussions. The other families do fall under Best Jeanist, and potentially in the future, with the alliance they do have, they do become a bigger threat to our organization, united, and standing as we are with the recent acquisition of Endeavor's territory. Well, it would be tactically sound to use our resources combined into developing farmland and future crop growth. We could also look into developing and recovering the Badland cities. Mr. Midoriya's recent acquisition is very good and may be quite beneficial to all of us. But in the long term, there are possible chances that smaller families do rise attempting to take on their own liberties or control territory. And if we are busy with the combined might of the other three families, they may begin to take a foothold, something we possibly are not prepared for. Or we could try to use overwhelming might and divert resources away from our primary war to a secondary war. And vice versa. A possible uprising we may not see depending on how well our enemies are tactically thinking and or are sound. Or if they do use overwhelming might in a long-term strategy to try and take us on. What? Yeah, that's a lot more lengthy than I would have liked. And that's the short-term one? It sounds like it. Though she talks a lot. To summarize it as shortly as I am willing, people may not like falling under the Yagi banner. Many of our lesser families that do serve the Ryuko family may find their autonomy threatened. And while there are possibilities that the former Todoroki family is already undergoing the same point, they are not in a position to defy the Yagis, especially with them rebuilding their cities and taking them as claimed territory. However, people in our family would more than likely discover a way to use subterfuge and a prolonged war with the other families to become more independent and rise up as a separate family, use their own standing and what money they do have, what resources they are able to pull away from us to fight us. I see. That's bad. It is very bad. Especially if our enemies are able to take control of the Hokkaido region. Then we would be at a tactical disadvantage with the mainland cut off from our territories and a majority of our own current landmass. Officially, Ryuko, I would be willing to take your agreement, your offer. Right now, some people going to speak up. Deku raising a hand. However, I'm currently not the boss of the Yagi family. Right now, I would do one simple thing. I would inform the current head of the Yagi family of your current position and of your subjugant alliance. We can figure out how to make a deal then. Find out about you pledging loyalty and a blood pact if possible. Her nodding her head, standing up and walking away. Deku turning his head as she does make her way over to a safe on the wall and pulling it open. Him staring at that as she does begin to enter a code, raising his voice enough for her to hear. Right now, the terms of the blood pact would be easy and able to understand. Under secrecy, she will be, along with her people, Yagis. And they will find out exactly how to deal with spies in her ranks. Weed out those of the other families. And she will remain as a separate entity at the moment. If people know about this merger, quote unquote, alliance, it would be problematic. And that will be that. Her walking back over. and going to hold up a metal disc that she does prick her finger with, and going to put her hand on it. Right now, Deku, he does see that. Her coming over and holding up something the size of a coin, and finding a metal needle on the other side. Her telling him about what to do. And Deku, he does gonna follow this, pricking one of his fingers and going to put down his blood. And she does state her intentions. As the leader of the Ryuko family, she is willing to put her people under his care. Allow her people and territory to fall under the banner of the Yagi family. If she does break her oath, if she does break any one of her oaths to him, then she will relinquish her abilities and her autonomy. And he will do the one thing she never vowed to have happen. He gets control to collar her. And Deku does see that. And she doesn't hold up the coin, giving it to Deku and informing him that is a blood vow. Right now, they are going to have it be binding. She will inform a third party in the masquerade of this, and they will tell him how to proceed from then if he does not know what is happening. And Deku does nod his head, informing her. He'll deal with the masquerade, though he does need to leave. Informs Tsunade of the current development, though going to stand. Whenever he does become head of the Yagi family, she will remain in charge of the area. No policies will change. Whatever she's already doing that All Might found agreeable, she will continue doing. All of them will be Yagis. All of them will fall under their code. And if it isn't different from their current code, they will be fine. But if any one of them has a problem, then feel free to chat with him. He'll be more than enthusiastic enough to give them a lesson on what is the matter. Now, he'll be leaving, walking over and going to fly out. Right now, deciding to talk to Tsunade. And Deku does leave quickly with a sonic boom. And we do have back over in Yagi territory. There was a sonic boom through the air. Deku, he carried himself on the momentum and made his way to the headquarters. Whenever he did go to find himself at the building, he did go to land on top of it. Walking in through a pair of doors from the balcony. And Nadai did get a turn, as he does express. Tenko, right now isn't exactly a good. Black Whip flying out and grabbing the chair, ripping it forwards as Nadai does bring up his hands and go to almost attack. Though recognizing Izuku, he does go to freeze, holding up a few different pieces of metallic spikes, informing Izuku. That was very bad. What is he? Deku slamming both hands on the side of his chair and leaning forward. I want to ask you some questions. I just came from Ryuko's territory. You did. Are you alright, Peachy? Do you know who Yuki is? Who? Don't play fucking games with me right now. Yuki. I want to know, Nadai. Do you know who Yuki is? She's a small little baby. You know, about 3 months old. I mean, I figured it might have come up in one of your reports. She's only Kami's daughter. My daughter. Izuku, I don't have any information about this. Yuki? A daughter? You. Deku, bring a hand up. And, grabbing Nadai by his jaw. I don't want to hear that from you. If you lie to me, I'm going to crush your jaw. You had a spy embedded in the family. I met Momo Yaoyorozu. She told me the phrase in a meeting with my goddamn ex. She's one of the spies. Your spies. She's close to Kami. And Kami doesn't even know it. She was quite enthusiastic about trying to inform me she was on my side, not to kill her. Now, did you know that Yuki is my daughter? I didn't know anything. Her reports, they don't mention that girl. She doesn't report in often. She reports in every 6 months. She's too high profile of a person to report in frequently. Look me in my eyes and tell me that. Deku staring down at Night-Eye, and Night-Eye does inform him. Momo Yaoyorozu is too high profile. Every 6 months she reports in, and even then, if she does report in sooner, she uses items she creates herself, and that is typically only for an emergency situation. This does not sound like an emergency. Are you going to stick to that story? Yes. Every 6 months, she reports in. As I understand, she creates a device to send a message and breaks it upon completion. Good. Right now, Ryuko is talking about joining the family, becoming one of our people. I have a lot to deal with at home. I have a daughter, and I need to figure that out. Officially, she's our newest acquisition of territory. Her people are ours. You coordinate with her and talk with her. Right now, I've got to deal with some stuff at home. Figure things out there. Bring Kami into the fold and back to my place. She won't receive repercussions, punishments, and neither will Endeavor, neither will Muscular, and anyone from Endeavor's side who is his or ours, or Ryuko's people and our people. I'm expecting you to handle this. Anyone in her ranks gets anonymity. They get a clear record. They're not held accountable for whatever they said. That's for everyone. I see. You're playing favorites. No, I'm not. Miss Yaoyorozu won't be held accountable by our latest acquisition. Neither will Miss Kami for being a member of their family. If this is to work, we all need a clear slate. There cannot be hostility. Now, this will officially be put under the record. If people know that they are ours, then we will have problems. Then things can get complicated. Whatever spies Best Jeanist has in our organization, we need to discover we need to find. Whatever Spy's overhaul or redestro may potentially have, we need to find. And you will do whatever you need. You will call Ryuko and figure things out as my second in command. For right now, I think it is best we officially have me in charge. Are you sure that is wise? Are you certain it's not? People believe I'm still in hiding. People don't think I'm active. Right now, if I do come out of hiding, yes, there are traps that will be put in front of me. But if I don't, then things will get more complicated. Half a year has been plenty of time. I've sorted some of my own stuff out. I'm better mentally, physically. And if we can, announce me as a new boss. Isn't there something that we can do about that? I mean, every boss meets at UA, right? Once a year? Yes. Though, if there are any major changes, the bosses can negotiate, set up meetings with one another. I think UA could be a very good place to meet. Have everyone show up and talk there. Neutral ground is neutral for this exact reason. Then again, everyone in control of Japan, this is a more higher profile event. You'll need to schedule it. And that is absolute. Good. Now, Night Eye. If it does come out to me that you hid this from me, anything that we discussed today, I'm going to have problems with you. And I don't think you need to look at the future to know what I'll do to you. But I think you should. And whatever I do, whatever I'm thinking of right now, whatever you see, I might change it. I hope you know that. Now, look into my face and use your ability. I don't think that use your fucking quirk. Or right now, I will smack you. Do it. Him looking at Deku and deciding to use his ability. And Deku does visibly watch the man freeze. As Deku, he does gonna visibly relax. And Night Eye, he does go to let out an exhale of breath as Deku does a turn to leave, deciding not to do what he was thinking about. And Sir Night Eye, yeah. He just saw a future where Deku decided to rip him to shreds after he refused. The man is already on the verge of wrath, and he managed to avoid the future. He caught a glimpse of it as it changed, and what he saw was horrifying. For one, the future is not absolute. For two, Izuku Midoriya is a terrifying man. Someone he can't really gain a read on. Someone who is deranged, but who currently does hold the power of All Might. Not only that, but he's almost calculative in the way he does handle things. And that is his main problem. And Deku, he does rocket back home. He's got to figure out how to baby prep his own house. Though, he's got to figure out how to deal with this idea in his head. A family compound, a place where he can have everyone he cares about in hiding, protected. His house cost him over $300 million. And for a place secure enough out in the middle of nowhere or in hiding, it's going to need to be big. It's going to need to be protected. And it's going to need quite a bit of money. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next